Soldiers of the Rebel Alliance.
The official Star Wars Battlefront 2 announcement is happening April 15th at the Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and EA already has us hyped with a single tweet from DICE's senior video director Randy Evans that says, "This is without question the biggest trailer we've ever produced. Star Wars fans around the globe will be able to tune in at 11:30 Pacific time as DICE unveils their first ever footage of Battlefront 2. We thoroughly enjoyed our time with the first game. We even made a headset for it. So now we thought it would be a perfect time to discuss our hopes and dreams for the sequel. With that in mind, here are 5 features we'd love to see in Star Wars Battlefront 2. First, we absolutely want Star Wars Battlefront 2 to bring back squad classes. Unique characters like this bring life into games. EA's other success story, Battlefield 1, has a class system that we love. Star Wars Battlefront 2 should take a page out of Battlefield's 1 book and give 5 different archetypes, each with their own style of play. Take for instance the Assault class in Battlefield. You get an MP-18 as your standard, and the Assault has access to dynamite, though it doesn't have what the medics have. Medkits. The medic of course heals allies and brings them back to life with their handy all-powerful syringe. It's differences between the classes that make for interesting combat choices. Instead of everyone using a jetpack in Star Wars Battlefront, imagine that ability was restricted to only sniper classes. Now imagine if each class had its own set of weapons unique to them. A player who preferred sniping would have to opt for a sniper class, while soldiers would need to focus on their specific playstyle. Variety is the spice of life, and creating archetypes prevent people from using one type of loadout. Vehicles in Star Wars Battlefront are incredibly fun to use. Though what if we saw a return to the Battlefield style, where vehicles have their own spawn points, requiring players to physically trek through a parking lot, viewing the array of options as if they were in a car showroom? It could make for a far more epic experience, seeing another player actually climb into an ATST, or hopping into a speeder. Imagine seeing an ATST at your base and having to climb into it, as opposed to picking up a token off the ground. We're getting goosebumps already. Speaking of which, multi-person vehicles are a must. No more flying around solo, getting into one-on-one combat. Let us fly into a combat zone with a co-pilot, or with 3 other friends, who must trust their lives to our awesome piloting skills, or more realistically, fear the inevitable crash fail. Battlefield 1 does this extremely well with the variety of vehicles available. Whether it's a simple bike with a jump seat or a 4-man car, you can zip into battle with your friends. Now imagine doing the same with a snowspeeder, having a friend in the back shooting down enemy players while you zip around AT-ATs. Pure awesome. While we're on the topic of fighting in maps, the maps in Star Wars Battlefront were only good for a certain game type, and weren't seen or used outside that given mode. We'd love to be able to fight in a smaller version of Hoth, just around one base in a team deathmatch. Think of the possibilities with Endor, Tatooine, and more. To use Battlefield 1 as a point of comparison, a lot of its maps can be used in numerous game types. A match of Rush can be played on the same map that is used to play a round of the close quarters game type Carrier Pigeon. That said, we love all the alien locations in Star Wars, and we want to play them in different ways. Lastly, one of the most important elements we absolutely must have in Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a gripping single-player narrative. Whether it's a one-person show that follows the hero or heroine through their journey, or a multi-perspective ensemble, we all want to dive into the Star Wars universe and feel the living force all around us. With the likes of Knights of the Old Republic still fondly remembered and revered by gamers, there's a precedent set that Star Wars Battlefront 2 could include an incredible campaign. To fall back onto the comparison that we've used throughout, Battlefield 1 has some of the most heart-wrenching moments in its single-player campaign, so we're positive Star Wars Battlefront 2 could deliver the goods. Plus, imagine all those moments with the iconic Star Wars themes swelling and rising in your headset, and you've got a recipe for immense feels. With Star Wars Battlefront 2's announcement happening later this month, we can't wait to see what lies ahead of our path to a deeper understanding of the Force. And my final question to you is, what do you hope is added to Star Wars Battlefront 2?